Resentment, part 3. One of the scriptures I wanted to go to was Ephesians 4:26, the one about don't let the sun go down on your anger. And it says to deal with this and sort it out so that we don't sin. So kind of what I take from some of that is that by not dealing with this and sorting it out, it's setting me up and putting me in the position to sin. So, you know, one of the things that kind of boggles my mind is about the things that we pick to hang on to. You know, and what I think that a big element of resentment is that we live in this world and we meet people, and in order to have any real relationship, we have to kind of let our guard down and be authentic and real with people. But when we do that, we put ourselves in a position where it's easier for them to hurt us. And I think a lot of times that the resentment that we really hang on to and have the hardest time letting go of is when it is with somebody that we've let our guard down and, you know, they do something to hurt us or harm us or obstruct us, and the fact that we kind of had put ourselves in a vulnerable position with them and they still hurt us makes us even more resentful and makes that resentment harder to let go of. You see a lot of this with ex-wives, ex-husbands, family members, you know, business partners, whatever, that, you know, the closer the relationship, somehow we expected a pass, that these people would not exhibit their poor behavior or their poor choices or whatever with us because we had this bond. You know, I think it's important to remember that everybody in this deal is going to sin and hurt other people. This is a fallen world and we're sinful people and we all make mistakes. And so to just kind of assume that because we have a closer relationship with a person that they're not going to hurt us is kind of really counterproductive and kind of ridiculous. And a matter of fact, the closer you are to people, the more likely it is that they are going to hurt you. So, you know, we have a choice that, okay, either we can not let people get close to us and live a guarded, closed up life where we don't allow people to get close enough to hurt us, or we learn how to get over these injuries that we get in having close personal relations with people. So, you know, for me, the important part really is that to sort this out quickly, like the scripture says. You know, we have choices about how much we're going to let this affect us, you know, and for me, the first part for me always has to be that we're all sinners, number one. All of us. There's none of it. Only Jesus was the one to ever live without sinning. Second of all, almost always the thing that somebody does to me that I resent, I have also done to others. You know, so if I can remember that I too have done the same thing to others, then it puts me back on level ground with this person. I can no longer take the elevated position where my behavior, my holiness, my righteousness is above the person that injured me. You know, if I've done the same thing to people, then, you know, how bitter and resentful can I really, realistically be at somebody else for doing the same thing I've done? So, you know, right from the beginning, I have a couple tools to get right with this early on. Third of all, the Bible does not justify me hanging on to bitterness and resentment at other people. You know, it's plain in numerous places that's not God's path, that's not love. You know, we're told to forgive each other. Well, how many times? 7 times? 7 times, 77 times. It means we're to continue to forgive. So to think that we're going to work in a paradigm where we're going to reach a level where we're no longer going to be harmed, slighted, offended, or whatever. That's not how this works, that we're climbing to this point. What we should be is that we're at a point that whenever it happens, we can deal with it now, let go of it, sort it out, and move on without this. We have to live in the time, the moment, now, and deal with this now, and not look to a place to where we're never going to be offended or whatever, because that's not going to happen here. As long as we're in this world, there's going to be trials, hardships, violations against us or whatever that we're always going to have to deal with. So the trick is to deal with it now, deal with it soon, look at it for what it really is. And so much of this stuff is thinking issues. You could have a scar on your arm that was given to you, somebody stabbed you, and you would have a resentment about that affair or that incident. But you have the same scar from a work accident or a farming or sports, or you're playing sports or something. You have the same scar, the same injury, but you don't have a resentment about it. So we look at things, and long after the scar, the wound is healed, we're still looking at it and going back to how it happened and assigning a value to that. And, once the wound is healed, let it go, move on, forget about it. Not to keep dragging that up. And you'll see this a lot of times with victims of childhood stuff that they're 40 years old and still sorting this out. And so the sooner we can sort it out, the better, and the less effect it's going to have on our day-to-day life. And that's it.